Welcome to Give Me Hope with your host and author, Johanna Vendel. Come join the conversation as Johanna focuses on sharing impactful personal narratives of loss. Her platform provides a safe space for individuals to express themselves, find comfort, and build connections as they navigate their grief journey. So now, please welcome the host of Give Me Hope, Johanna Vendel.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Give Me Hope with Joanna. So today I want to start off my podcast by just remembering my twin sister a little bit today. Today it's 28 years since I am not a we, but I am a I. And I still miss her a lot, that's just how it goes. You miss your people and things like that. But 28 years since I have now been an I. Sometimes I still make the mistake of saying that we are this year, this old, or we were born this time or something, and I must sometimes remember to say I when I speak about myself. But just remembering her today. And then she did pass away one day before my mother's birthday. So tomorrow is my mom's birthday. And she's gone for 13 years already. And I just want to remember them today. Sorry for the tears now, but just want to remember them. We have a very amazing guest in studio today, and she is Dr. Joanne Chestnut. She's an author, she's a motivational speaker, and she is a Christian. And she has written her book, which she will tell us about. So let's welcome Dr. Joanne Chestnut. Welcome to Give Me Hope with Joanne.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you and your audience.
You're very welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. I have been following you on Facebook, and I have been seeing such amazing things about you. And I have to say that you constantly inspire me, because it seems like you also have been through quite an ordeal. And it's always nice to look at people like you, and it uplifts my spirit when I see amazing things happening in your life, because I am one of those people who always are grateful when I see someone else doing well in their lives. I never get jealous of anybody who's doing better than me, or who is flourishing in life. And I always am so grateful to know such people, because you inspire me completely.
Thank you so much. I'm inspired by you as well. I want to send you cyber hugs right now, and prayers and just comfort, because I know that was difficult. And grief is like that. Some years you're able to walk right through it without thinking too hard about how you feel. Other years you're talking and it just grabs your heartstrings. So, basis of my career is I am a nurse. So I have a lot of compassion. So I'm sending cyber hugs to you. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your resilience and for your willingness to tell and share your story with the world. So yes. I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Yes, it is quite a story, if you must read about my family loss. I've lost my entire family, actually, of 6 members: my mom, my dad, my 3 sisters, and my brother. And that is what my book, Life Think Again, is all about, which I also won an International Impact Award for. Was that at that Impact Award that I met you, Joanne? Were we sitting at the same table that evening, and that's where I met you?
We were sitting at the same table in February of 2025, and we both won the International Impact Book Award. Yes, I won in the spiritual category. from my book, Birds with Broken Wings Still Fly, Overcoming Trauma.
Yes, but I think you were sitting on the other side, so we didn't really speak that much because I was speaking to the person that was sitting on this
Yes.
side. But I can remember that I think you were sitting at my table, and I was thinking that you were on that day and not the next day, because I know that you were in that weekend, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember exactly who was all sitting at my table that day.
It
That's
was
when we
me.
met, and it is
Uh-huh.
since that day we
Absolutely.
are literally starting to get to know each other. And since that day, you have inspired me, since I have invited you onto my Facebook. And my word, if you want to start telling us where your story starts, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. So my story starts really childhood. I had a story that was hiding in me from childhood because I experienced a lot of childhood abuse, a lot of, you know, um, what we call adverse childhood experiences, what we now know as ACEs. And so my story started then. I didn't start talking about it and writing about it until 2 years ago. After I received a kidney transplant, I had kidney failure for 19 years. Someone put a date rape drug in a drink that I consumed in 2001, and it gave me liver and kidney failure. My liver got better and regenerated itself. My kidney did not get better. But through my faith in God and my belief in, his promises, God had showed me and told me that I would never be on dialysis, that I would never go into a dialysis center. In
Wow.
19 years,
Wow.
I never been on dialysis, and in 2023, I received a transplant. So
Wow.
that's when I wrote my book.
Wow. Now, just that you are saying about the dialysis, that is actually a little course of how my sister died. She was pregnant, and not that I want to now take over your story here, but just because you said that, it just made me think, my word, I'm thinking of my twin sister today, and this is actually how she died. She was giving birth, but the baby was stillborn, and then her kidneys failed, and they put her on dialysis for, I think, 2 days. But by the end of the day, it was the preeclampsia that caused everything, and the kidney failure and everything. And then she passed away 2 days later, um, from basically kidney failure and her organs that shut down, um, from all of that. So I am so grateful that you don't have to do that now anymore, and that you are doing better. I am grateful for that.
So, Joanna, the thing is, we have more in common than we think. I've never been on dialysis.
Oh, you
What I
never.
was saying is that God promised me that I would never be on dialysis. And in 19
Oh.
years of having kidney failure, I never went on dialysis. I went from stage 1 to stage 5. My kidney function was at 9%, and I got a kidney, but I've never been in a dialysis center.
Oh my
Strangely
word.
enough, the same condition you're talking about, preeclampsia, my great nephew, his mother died from the same thing, preeclampsia. She gave birth, and she had full eclampsia, and she died from the
Wow.
same thing.
Wow. Yeah, those
Yeah, so we have
years,
more in
I
common
don't,
than you think.
yes, wow. I don't think those years, and she passed away in 97. And those years, I think preeclampsia was just a new thing, because my mom just said, just put your feet on a chair, keep it up in the air, because you're just pregnant and your feet's just swelling. But I think if we knew about preeclampsia that much already at that time, we might have caught it before the time. But God has his reasons. I still believe, even though I am the last one standing in my family, I also believe that I am going to grow old, and I am positive that God wants to use me to maybe touch another broken heart out there. Because if I can do it, and I am still young, And unfortunately, I've lost my entire family while I'm still young. I'm not old yet where I can say, oh, I am 80 years old and I'm close to dying. My family died. They all died literally below the age of 51. My mom was the oldest, actually. My mom was 59. And this year, I will turn 52, which will make me the oldest child alive from 5 children.
Wow, blessing.
So I hope to become 88 or older one day. That's always been my
Yeah.
dream, is that I want to be double my dad's age when he died. And thereafter, if God still wants me on this earth, if I'm not a bother to my kids or anybody else out there with nagging stuff, then he should just take me. But I want to grow old and I just want to live my life to the fullest and just be a change in this world and be an inspiration for someone out there. And that is why my show is called Give Me Hope, Joanna. So, yeah. Okay, well, let's continue with your story. I'm so sorry for the interruption. But yeah, continue with your story and let's hear how Joanne became an international Impact Book Award winner. And she's got lots more that she's going to tell us about, which I'm so proud of them. And maybe one day, I'll join them all there. But please tell us, Joanne, tell us your story.
So again, it started with me from childhood, but I was always a fighter. So, I spent more time overcoming the things that I was going through than thinking about it and sitting in it. So I was moving on to the next thing and the next thing. Education and nursing is really what helped me to pull myself up by my bootstraps. And once I got my education in nursing, I kind of never looked back. I got more degrees until I got a terminal degree. Hence, I'm Dr. Joanne Chestnut, nurse by trade and doctor by education. And I've just
Mhm.
continued to overcome hurdles. The thing is that I want to say, though, Joanna, is that my story is my story, your story is your story. The truth is, everyone
Yes.
has a story
Oh,
because
yes.
life is filled with hills and valleys and mountaintops and valleys. And in the mountaintop, that's where you get to show the grace that has been bestowed upon you from God. That's when the glory of God is upon you, right? Because you're on the mountaintop. However, in the
Definitely.
valley, however, in the valley, though, that's where you get all of the glory from. In the valley, in the places where we're broken and we're hurt and we feel like we can't go on, that's when God really has an opportunity to fill you up with something good. It says he
Yes.
loves a broken heart and a contrite spirit. So in your broken places, if you would just sit still and trust God, you'll get the lessons that he needs for you to get so that when he brings you back on top of the mountain, you'll be able to share that testimony and help someone else come out of their brokenness. Because that's
Yes.
what it's all
I
about, right?
agree.
It's not happening to us, it happens for us. And it happens for us so that we can share with someone else to give someone else hope, right?
Definitely. Definitely. I agree definitely with you there because at the time where I was the most broken, that is the time where I kind of had to make the realization to sit back and look at all the blessings that God has blessed you with. Because if you just open your eyes and you look around you, you will see the blessings. And then you'll
Yes,
learn
yes,
to be stronger through all of that. And that is the circle of life. We all are going to come, we all are going to die. And it's all about making that impact today
yes,
when you are still alive. Because today
yes,
is the day that you can make a difference because you never know if you might be here tomorrow.
yes. Exactly. And when you say impact, that leads me to, so I do have the Birds with Broken Wings. I can show the cover if
Yes,
you
please
like.
show us.
That's
Please
that's
show us.
my first book, Birds with Broken Wings Still Fly. I hope you can see it.
It's hold
Um,
it still for a
but
second there. There you go. Beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
so this is my first book. It's an easy read. It's basically a journey of some of the things that I've gone through, but it's not from the perspective of a victim for sure. It's from the perspective of a victor, someone who went from, you know, striving to thriving, from survivorship to, owner of my life, having agency over my life. And I
Yeah.
give tips. The assist model that I created is a model to help you overcome trauma. It started in this book. My second book that has just now come out, it's called Healing the Wounds of Trauma. And
Wow,
it uses the assist.
congratulations.
Thank you. The assist
And
model that was done here is now, I created a whole model here. And this also has a workbook on it that goes with it. And just helping you go from post-traumatic stress to post-traumatic growth so that we can come out of the place where we are the victim and come into a place where we are the hero for someone else who is feeling like a victim.
yes,
Um,
wow. When did
Also,
you publish that one?
yes, this is published. You can get it on Amazon as well.
And
So it's
when
published
did you
as well.
publish that?
This came out the day before. So this came out, a conference was 26. This came out Sunday, the day after the conference. So it had to be Sunday, June 27th, because our conference
27th.
was
Wow.
July
Wow.
27th. I'm sorry. Our conference was just July 26th, and this came out the next day on July
Wow.
27th. So
Congratulations.
yes. So thank you so
Well
much.
done.
And I also have a collaborative book called Impact Leaders. It is with Nimstant. She is the founder of International Impact Book Awards, and Kevin Harrington, who is the original Shark Tank from the Shark Tank. Also, Brandon Adams, he is the guru for branding. He's won a Grammy for that. Myself and 15 other authors, I think about 18 of us, we collaborated on the book called Impact Leaders. That will be out in the end of September as well.
Wow. Wow. Do you want to collaborate a little bit on your first book so that people can have an idea of what they will read about when they look for your book?
Sure. So my first book talks a little bit about what I shared with you, some of my childhood struggles, the adverse childhood experiences that I had. Talked about how I navigated those waters, the pain of it, the turmoil, the grief, the chaos, fear, and all of that, and how I overcame those things. It leads you to the journey and my road to redemption and finding my life with Christ and with God. And then where I was at the time, I was married. I was in a relationship that I wasn't sure about. Just recently divorced from that same marriage. So recently, like right now, just
Oh,
going through a
I'm
divorce
so
right
sorry
now.
to hear that.
Um, yeah, so I'm sorry for that too, because nobody wants that. However, I'm always happy for experiences that change and mold me into the person that God would have me to be. All of these experiences lead up to who you're going to be. And you have two things you can do, Johanna.
Agreed,
You can
agreed.
be bitter or better. And the only
Yes,
difference in the two words is the I, right? And I choose to
definitely.
be better and not bitter.
Definitely. I
So,
agree with that.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. You actually do have a lot in common with me as well, because I also went through a divorce and I am remarried again for 17
Right.
years this year, and know my husband now for almost 20 years. That shows you how quick time goes. But also, we're married for almost 10 years of my life when I was younger, and two children with my first husband, two children with my second husband. And that's why I always say, look at your blessings, because it's like you say, you can only get stronger from all the things that you go through. And if we don't um, look at it in a positive way, that God wants better for us, then sometimes we can get stuck in that groove of being depressed all the time. And sure, it is amazing. So I think I do have a book trailer of this book of yours as well, Joanne. Would you mind me showing it to the viewers?
Not at all, sure.
Sure. So let's look at Joanne's book trailer for her first book, and we will be back shortly after the trailer. now, wasn't that an amazing book trailer? Wow, Joanne, it's really impactful.
Thank you so much. It's impactful for me even seeing it. Sometimes I look back at this stuff and I'm looking from the outside now, looking in, not as the writer, but just as the observer. And it's different for me as well. It's amazing. I thank God for it all.
Amen. Thank you, God. Yes, well, tell us a little bit more about your second book, if you don't mind.
Well, my second book, the one Healing the Wounds of Trauma, it's called Bet on Yourself. And the reason why I wrote that is because as a result of writing my first book and all that I was going through in my marriage, once I got the transplant and I realized I had a new lease on life, that God was giving me an opportunity to live. He had kept his promises that I would never be on dialysis, even when it looked crazy to other people. And at times, crazy to me, it was hard. At some point, I was like, do I ditch my faith because I know that he told me not to go on dialysis, but I'm so sick. And just standing on your faith and believing God when it's difficult, finding light in a dark place, and then getting the transplant and getting a second lease on life. It actually, I think, unfortunately, is what catapulted the divorce because I was living a lot of lie, a lot of shame, a lot of doubt, a lot of communication issues with my husband. He's not a bad person. It's just that sometimes in marriages, people are holding back things they really need to let out because they're afraid to hurt someone else. They're afraid they're going to argue. Maybe they're intimidated by the person or whatever the case was. But after I got the transplant, I could no longer live that life anymore. There was friends that I knew that relationships weren't healthy. There were boundaries that had been crossed in family and friends in the workplace that I was no longer willing to live that life anymore. I decided that if God gave me this new lease on life and gave me a kidney after he promised and kept his promise, that he wouldn't be mocked, that I was going to be the best version of myself that I could be. And I was going to
Wow.
be a voice for women or for people had hidden trauma, who were secretly suffering from imposter syndrome, from self-doubt, from shame, from
And
guilt.
from what I can see, Joanne, you are definitely exactly that. Because, like I say, I look at all your videos that you make on your Facebook, and I listen. I listen to every single word, and sometimes people stop before you actually came to the punchline, but sometimes it is important to listen to people and listen to the end, because that is where all the courage is at the end. People first start to talk about the breaking and the heartbreak and where you were and where you're going to, and then comes the punchline, and I always try to listen to the end. I see all your conferences that you do and how you empower so many women. I want to come and join you one day, maybe,
Oh,
and
I would love.
and come share my story with those women as well, because it sounds like you are having so much fun when you are around so many impactful women at the same time. Not just women, men are also impactful, but I'm talking about you specifically, Joanne. And wow, I like, so call me a stalker. Hey, I like to look.
I
I
don't
like to
mind you
look at
stalking,
what you
Johanna.
do. I find
So
my
that
inspiration from all the women that I've recently met, and I have met, you cannot call it a different name, but impactful women. I have met
yes.
so many impactful women that, being in America now, I constantly would have felt so lonely. But since winning my award as well, and winning my second award for my second book as well, and meeting all of you guys and all the other authors that I have now also recently spoke to and still will speak to, it is amazing how
Mhm.
much I have grown from being in a impactful circle of people. It is
Yes,
amazing. And
yes.
I can talk a lot. So I'm going to zip my mouth now and I'm going to listen to you. Tell us a little bit about Kevin Harrington because I met him as well. He's an amazing man. I must say I can talk a lot about him as well because he is definitely the inspiration of why I am actually doing my podcast. Can you remember what he said that day at that conference? Is that we should try to connect with people that have podcasts because that is how we get our word out there, you know? Can you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that, and I've been on several podcasts when you since then. When you talk about impact and that being around impactful women, so before I ever went to the won the award, the International Impact Book Award, that has greatly impacted me. I thank God for Nim Stant and what she's doing and bringing together Kevin Harrington, Brandon Adams, Matt George, all of the other people that are involved. I recently went to one of her Power Play conferences, not a conference, but sessions on the
Together,
weekend.
yes.
Yeah, it was really, really good,
I
very
saw that.
impactful. But also, I have something called Whole Well You, Health, Wealth, and Wellness. And we focus on, it started out as Whole Well You Women's Conference. I had my first one before I ever went to the Impact Book Award. And my goal was to get women together to heal, to grow. Whole Well You was birthed out of, I had the name many years ago because I used to do wellness conferences and I focused on like health promotion and disease prevention, physical health. But once I wrote my first book, I wanted to switch gears a little bit and pivot towards trauma, overcoming trauma, finding your gifts, developing your gifts, finding your purpose and turning it into profit, right? Taking your story and turning it into something that resonates with other people. So when I started the Whole Well You conference, I started it out for just women to come together to talk about health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, to talk about wealth and wellness, right? But little did I know, this past conference that we had, our second annual in 2025, I had men there because some women invited their husbands and I didn't tell them they couldn't. And those men came up to me and more than one of them said, "Hey, I would love for you to do this for men." I was so just amazed
Impressed.
at because
Yes.
yes, these men said, one of them said to me, "I love what you're doing for my woman," because he was there with his woman. They
Oh,
weren't married, but that she has powerful story, is a serial entrepreneur, has just an amazing business. She does vegan food and now has 3 restaurants, and I believe it's going to be a chain. And she came
wow.
on, she had never spoken publicly before. So the Whole Well You platform was her first platform to speak publicly. She did an awesome job, but her man came over to me later and he said, "I love what you've done here. Do you think you can do it for men? I have a story to tell." And oh, you're talking about God using you for his service and his glory. I couldn't, I just, I'm so still taken aback from that because that is so awesome. That is multiplication of your blessings, and only God can do that. So yes, I would love to have you, and we can plan for that, Johanna. If you've been watching me, I'm a woman of action. So if you start saying you want to be with us, you better watch out because you'll look up, and I'll be saying, "This is going to be one of our panelists. She's coming, and she's going to tell her story. This is going to be a speaker. Our next one, we're planning to hopefully have it in California. We'll have it in LA." So yes, I would love to have you amongst us, and it's such a powerful experience. You leave there so full. It was 3 days before I could even talk and write a post because I was so full from what I got out of
Um,
watching other people share their stories and grow and develop.
wow. I actually recall you saying something like that in your video that you were so full, and I looked at a few of the photos and listened to a few things, and it fills me, even though that I have not been there. Just hearing you speaking about it, it fills me, and that is what we all need in life. Is we need the food for thoughts because it is our thoughts that keeps us either in a negative downfall fall spirit, or it can uplift our spirit, you know. And if we as women can uplift someone else's spirit because of our story, like you also said earlier, and like I always say, we all have a story to tell, and every story is different, and every single story matters. There are so many women out there that feels that, but I am not good enough to do this, you know, or maybe I make a mistake. But that is when we are real. We must make mistakes. Nobody in this life is perfect. We are all still learning and climbing the ladder up and up, you know, helping other people. And by struggling and falling down, we just have to get up again, get that person to help you up again, and follow that person, you know. And that's why I always try to stay true and honest. And most of all, I want to stay humble, you know,
Yes.
to be able to work with those broken women that needs our help. And oh my word, no, I am like, I'm so positive about life since I have climbed out of my little shell. Yes.
Yes, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for you to be out of that shell, you know, to come out of your caterpillar stage and turn into the beautiful butterfly that you are. We all have that transformation and that metamorphosis, and it takes places at different seasons and times in our lives. And the best has just begun. The best is yet to come, Johanna. You have a lot more that you'll do. If you think you're doing something now, just watch God work. There's a
Amen.
lot more for us all to see. You have to live to do
Amen.
it. So pray to get old at 88 like you want. And there'll be so much more to come because God has a plan to prosper us, not to harm us, but to give us a hope in the future.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Wow. So the story in Kevin Harrington's book, The Impact Leaders, is it called?
It's called The Impact Leaders.
Did you write your story from the bird with the broken wings in there, or did you write a different story in there?
That's an excellent
Because some
question. That's
people write different things, and some people don't know maybe what to write and put their story in there. So I want to know what did you do, you know?
That is a really good question. That is an excellent question. So, I was confused at first too when they asked us to do it. They, you know, asked everyone that they thought might want to do it, and I said yes to it. And I was still confused, like, well, how is this going to go? What we were able to do is each person was able to write a chapter about something in their lives, something, a part of the story or a piece of their story. I didn't take the words from Birds with Broken Wings Still Fly. Just a quick peek for you is that my chapter is called The Rise of a Game Changer. So I hope I'm
Wow.
not going to be in trouble for that. That book is coming out in September, but that's my chapter name. It's called The
Oh,
Rise of a
that's
Game Changer.
a strong
Yeah.
title. I like it. I like
Yes.
it. You see, because you've already been that bird with a broken wing. You are not that bird anymore. You are now that
Absolutely.
strong leader. Amazing.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
looking
So
forward
that's
to reading it.
we were charged with writing the chapter. It had to be a certain number of words. We were charged with sending it in to them, and then they would review it and go over it. And then, you know, they would send back what, you know, suggested edits. You could keep what you wanted. And so we did that. Then we went for the book signing where we had the cover already. We did the mock book signing so that everybody is
I
already
also
there
have
with all of our
pictures of
photo
that.
ops.
I
I'm
will
sorry.
I also have pictures of that. Let's show the
Yes.
viewers some pictures where you were actually signing your book with Kevin Harrington, so that they can actually see how you have rised. One
Okay.
moment. It is so nice to see. I can't stop bragging about you and just saying, wow, just look at all this amazing things that you have done, Joanne. Once again, well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, I'm humbled. I really am humbled and honored, just filled with gratitude to be here with you.
Yes. And anything about your life that you would still like to inspire the people with, that you would like to mention? Any thing coming up that you would like them to know about, that they should look out for?
Yes, great, great, great. That's good. So I've gotten a lot of collaborations with different other organizations, different leaders, and different women in business since doing Impact International Impact Book Awards, since winning that awards, but also from doing these conferences, I really have gotten a lot of collaborations. So I would say, coming up, we're going to continue to have annual Whole Well You conferences. So keep your eye out for that. Also, my main business is called Crossing the Jordan Education and Consultant. That is for nurses and leaders. We have a NCLEX prep course, which is for nurses who are just getting out of school. They have to take a state board to become a registered nurse. And we have a course that teaches them strategies to pass the class. We
Mhm.
also have a course called Novice to Expert. It's for leadership. It's teaching people how to find the gifts that they have and really walk into their purpose and be great leaders. So that is one of the website that I have, Crossing the Jordan with Grace, is my ministry. So I have Crossing the Jordan LLC. That is a business that I just explained. And then I have Crossing the Jordan with Grace is my ministry. There I'm an ordained minister. I'm able to marry. I can do marriage counseling. I've done both. I can do funerals and also do Bible book study. Both businesses are named, if you're wondering why they're so close, they're named after my grandchildren. I have a 12-year-old granddaughter named Jordan, so Crossing the Jordan was named after her. And then I have a 6-year-old granddaughter named Gracie. She's my Gracie girl. Her name is Grace. And Crossing the Jordan with Grace is a ministry that's named after her. So that's me
Wow.
just building my legacy around my family and around, what I feel God has given me as my lot and my portion. So yes, and I'm collaborating with another place called Bestie Finders, where they help women discover their gifts. And so just a lot of collaborations, a lot of podcasts. Guests, people have asked me to be on their podcast a lot more lately. So I would say, put yourself out there. If I had to look into the screen and talk to anyone who may be watching this and you have ideas, you don't know, you don't have a path for it, you have things you want to do, you need clarity about it, I would say put yourself out there. Tell your story. Go and get on a podcast or start talking on Facebook. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Start right where you are. And if you're scared, do it scared. Just trust yourself and trust all that God has put in you to get you where you are. And just tell your story. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll be perfect for someone. So that's what I would say to anybody listening. It's just whatever you want to do, step out on faith and do it.
Yes, definitely, definitely. That is very good advice. Very good advice. Well, I pray that God still bless you in many different ways, Joanne, and stay strong, being a single woman now in life. You are strong. And
Yeah.
I'm going to still keep watching you and see how you climb this ladder. I try to climb with you,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we're going to just, yeah, be positive and live our life to the fullest.
Yes. I'll
And
be watching you too, Joanna, and following you as well as you climb.
thank you. I appreciate that. And if there's anybody out there that would like to follow me or Joanne, we are both on Facebook. And I'm also on YouTube on my channel where you are watching this video from now. Please subscribe to my free channel as I am still a new podcast host, and share this video so that we can get this story out. And let's be there for each other, because if we share and we like, we definitely take in from what we can get from the most, um, how can I say, powerful women out there, and you can be one as well. Is just you have to get up from that chair and you have to go look in the mirror, and you're going to have to say, come on, girl, let's go, let's take over this world. That's normally what I say to my trainees or my beauticians that I normally use to train. I always say to them, if anybody is going to buy anything today, you're first going to have to look in the mirror and see if you like the color that your lips are looking like, or the eyes, is it glowing, and it's not about your outer look, but it is about what comes out of that, that impacts people. And if you have a story to share, and if you have a story to tell, please reach out to me and come tell it on my podcast, and we'll get your word out there. And all I want is just for women to get up and go live their life to their fullest, like Joanne is doing. I will always follow you, Joanne. You are really just an inspiration.
Thank you. For those who want to follow me as well, I'll give you a simple website because I have many different businesses, but you can go to drjoannechestnut.com.
The links and everything will be in the description. So just look on the top and you will find all of her links to go follow her as well. Joanne, thank you so much for being on my show today and telling your story, and keep spreading those wings, because you're going to still fly high.
Thank you. God bless you, Joanna. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Okay. You are watching Give Me Hope with Joanna. And like I say, if you have a story to tell, please reach out. My email will be at the bottom of this video here. You can just email me, reach out, tell me a little bit about yourself, and let's try to get you to tell your story. Thank you and have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This has been Give Me Hope with your host, Johanna Vendel. Join Johanna each week and harness the transformative power of storytelling to facilitate healing and growth.